Hello viewers and welcome back to my channel. I am Ms Karishma. Now, being a school principal, I have realized that no matter how good my students are at academics, most of them fail to understand the most important aspect of being a citizen of a country as big as India, and that's economics. Well, whenever I have taken a class or whenever I have given an introduction for economics, I have always said one word to which I'm sure many of my ex-students will agree to. And that is economics is a living subject. It is a very important as well as it is an ever-changing subject. It impacts our life no matter who you are, whether you are a student or you are a professional or you are into business, economics, the bottom line is economics impacts everyone. So today, I'm just digressing myself from the previous assignment videos, which many of my students have requested me to make. That is rulers and buildings, which is a very important topic when it comes to UPSC exams or any other competitive exams. But sadly, in our CBSE system or in our system, in our education system, many teachers for years have tend to skip that chapter or given it as an assessment or an assignment or a project where the students are supposed to do their work and submit a project. And they are free from getting into the intricate details of that chapter. So I'm just taking a little break from that, and surely I would be uploading more videos on that topic so that it helps you to get an insight. Okay. Just one thing, when you look at economics, have a very open perspective towards it. Don't just get into the flow what other people say that, oh, budget is good, this is there, oh, the budget is bad. Well, let's not get into the discussion of what is good and what is bad. It's just to understand what this year's union budget is all about. So, if we start, how long do you think is 1.5 hours? Well, it's that long where the country's finance minister could sum up the entire year's budget, or it could be that small that when the budget speech was over, people were wondering, "Arey, such a small budget speech?" So when we look at this year's budget, it was just for 92 minutes. And well, it was the shortest budget speech ever given by our Honorable Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. The budget 2022 focused on digital and technology and sectors like infrastructure, health, education, and provision of e-services to the masses, to the commoners. The union budget laid a foundation and a blueprint of the economy over Amrit Kal, that is, for the next 25 years for India, at 75 to India at 100. But the most important question to many of you would be, what do you mean by budget? So students, let me just take another 1 or 2 minutes to explain or just to put an emphasis on what exactly the word budget means. Well, a budget is a financial plan for a defined period, often 1 year. It is the estimate of the amount of money needed for cost of living or to be used for a specific purpose. So now we need to understand the budget from government's perspective. But before that, let's just take one small example to help you clarify budget more. Do listen carefully. Imagine there is a small family and maybe a family of 4, and their annual income is 10,000 rupees. The father has 2 options to spend that money. Firstly, he thinks that he could paint the house, okay, and continue to live there. And secondly, he thinks that he uses or he spends a certain amount, okay, and he saves few for the future, say education of the children, or for the health crisis, or for any other emergency. He saves that amount. So he is in a dilemma, he is in a fix. And finally he decides that, okay, I will spend a bit and I will save a bit. Painting house is not necessary. So budget is the estimation of the plan of expense and spending. India posted a 9.2% GDP growth, the highest among all economies. We are amid the Omicron wave. The speed of our vaccination campaign has helped it dramatically. The finance minister stated that Sabka Prayas will continue with strong growth. Budget 2022 has provided a sharp increase in public investments and capital expenditure provision. So, when we will comprehensively understand the budget 2022, we will try to focus on how much budget is allocated to which sector and what was actually needed, and what is the tax benefits or the income tax slab and the GST thing and all. I mean, those are the basic terms and terminologies that are used for budget, and trust me, a commoner like you and me are interested in those. But as this is just to give you a very brief insight of how the Union Budget 2022 has come across, this is only about the key features. Okay, it's just like an insight to the Union Budget. Here I'm not going to talk about what was allocated and what is to be allocated and how much is actually needed. No, I'm not getting into those facts, but I'm just going to give you a brief picture of the Union Budget 2022. And in the next video, we will talk in detail about the rest of the things. So let us begin the main idea or the main content of this video, the key features of Union Budget 2022. So, as I said, this is the time of the Amrit Kal, that is India at 70 to India at 100. So, the goals of Amrit Kal, the very first key feature, the very first goal is to focus on the growth and all inclusive, okay, including welfare. Now, in that, if I just take you to another slide, now in that, okay, let me come here. So in this, we see that it lays a lot of emphasis on Har Ghar Nal Jal Yojana, okay, where 3.8 crore households are to be converted in getting water supply, getting continuous water supply by 2022-23. Next comes the PM Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, that is 8 lakh houses are to be completed and given to the poorer population, again a part of 22-23 budget. PM Divine, now that's something new. It is to fund the infrastructure and social development based on felt needs of the Northeast. This is basically for the Northeast to develop them socially. Then comes the aspirational blocks program, that is for development of the lacking blocks of aspirational districts, wherever it was said that they would be converted into a bigger town or the master cities or the smart cities and all. It is all about those program. Next comes the vibrant villages program. Now this targets again on the northern border, okay, so that they are more integrated with the mainstream country. Next, a very important again, the digital banking by post office. Now, 100% of the post office across the country is to come into the core banking system. Lastly, the digital payment, that is for the scheduled banks to set up 75 digital banking units in 75 districts. Again, the 75th year of independence. Moving back, the second goal of Amrit Kal is to promote technology-enabled development, energy transitions, and climate actions. Here they're basically talking about the sunrise opportunities, right? The greener energy and the drone helping the farmers and all. Lastly, a virtuous cycle starting from private investment crowded in by public capital investment. Here they are basically talking about the PPE, that is public-private partnership. Moving on, then we have the 4 priorities of the government. Well, the very first priority is PM Gati Shakti. Okay, Gati Shakti, when we are talking about PM, Pradhan Mantri Gati Shakti, here it is a national master plan for multi-module connectivity which has started in October 2021. This is a digital platform including railways and roadways together for integrated planning and coordinated implementation of infrastructure connectivity projects. So this is basically an infrastructural plan. Next comes the inclusive development. We just now spoke about the inclusive welfare schemes, and it's a part of inclusive development. Then comes the financing of investments. Again, the PPP, that is public-private partnership. So here we are talking, this priority talks about the investments. And next comes the productivity enhancement and investment. As I said, sunrise opportunities, energy transition, and climate action. Well, I would just take another minute and will like to focus, because all the other points, that productive enhancement in the manufacturing or the energy transition and keeping the climate, the green energy is all aware. What is sunrise opportunities? Well, those are the new opportunities, the new horizons that are opening up, like artificial intelligence, geospatial systems and drones, semiconductors and its economy, space economy, genomics and pharmaceuticals, green energy and clean mobility system. Now they have immense potential to assist sustainable development and modernize our country. Right, coming to PM Gati Shakti. Now this is driven by 7 engines, okay, roadways, railways, airports, ports, mass transport, that is the public transport, waterways and logistics infrastructure. So it is a link between all these 7 things. It is, as I said, it is a national master plan aimed at world-class modern infrastructure and logistics synergy. Formulation of the master plans for highway, the expressways, completing 25,000 kilometers national highways in this financial year. Moving on, it is again in the same PM Gati Shakti, the unified, that is almost one logistics interface platform allowing data exchange among all the modes of operators. Well, I'm talking about the modes of operators. They are railways, roadways, waterways, ports, public transport and all. Open source mobility stack for seamless travel of passengers. 4 multimodal logistic parks through PPP to be awarded in this year. Again, PPP is public-private partnership. You, me, government working together. Next comes the integration of postal and railway network. This is very important because this will help to facilitate more of parcel movements. One station, one product, extending coverage under Kavach, and again 400 new Vande Bharat trains. Next comes the multi-module connectivity between the mass urban and transport. Okay, let me just take this a little away. Oops. The National RUPEE Development Plan as sustainable alternative for conventional roads, and the capacity building for other infrastructure projects. So if we look under Gati Shakti, yes, our government has quite a big plans. Next comes the agriculture and food processing. Well, from a lot of budgets, they are talking about the organic farming. So to put more emphasis on it this year, promoting chemical-free natural farming, starting with farmers' land, which is close to River Ganga, promoting post-harvest value education, consumption and branding of millet products. Next comes the delivery of digital and high-tech services to the farmers under the public-private partnership, use of Kisan drones to help or to aid the farmers. Then again launching a fund which is blended with the capital, the capital or the finance for agriculture startups. So it is like a push to the agricultural startups. Again, another very important thing in it is the implementation of the Ken Betwa Pro Link project that will be benefiting 9.1 lakh hectare farmland by providing water to 62 lakh people and also generating 130 megawatt of power. And in the pipeline, there are 5 more such projects which are waiting to be implemented. Next comes the education or the quality education, which is again a very, very important topic or very important aspect for this government. Okay, this is the same government. Don't forget, this is the same government which is coming up the NEP, right? NEP 2020. So for them, the quality education, yes, holds a lot of significance. So starting with it, right now there is only one channel that talks about the channel on the TV. It's a free tier channel which talks about education. Well, now it is going to be expanded to 200 more TV channels. Then more of virtual labs and skilling e-labs to provide critical thinking to stimulate learning environment. Then a digital world-class university to be set up for quality education. At least pandemic has taught us that we could connect online as well. So that's a blessing of the pandemic. Next comes the high quality e-content to be delivered through digital teachers. And well, I consider myself to be one of them. Now, lastly, they talk about the skill development. Because let's agree to one thing, that though we are one nation which produces the highest amount of professionals every year, there is a very big concern of unemployability. Okay, when I say unemployability, people do a lot of ho-halla about employment. I agree, there is a shortage of employment in our country. But then at the same time, there is another very big concern, that is unemployability or unemployability skills or unemployable skills, okay, which has like a barrier to the prospective job holders. So to overcome this problem, the digital ecosystem for skilling and livelihood, that is the DESH, will be launched to promote online learning. Again, there would be a push to the startups who would be providing Drone Shakti for drone as a service. Moving from education, another very important aspect of our budget was healthcare. The National Digital Health Ecosystem will be rolled out. It is like an open platform for the National Digital Health Ecosystem that will consist of digital registries of health providers and healthcare facilities, unique health identity and universal access to health facilities. Then comes the National Tele-Mental Health Program will be launched for quality counseling. Okay. After the lockdown, many people have openly acknowledged that yes, there is a very big concern that is happening not only with the students but even with the adults, and that's the mental health. So mental health is taken a lot into consideration while making this year's health budgets. Next comes the integrated architecture, that is development of the existing system, Mission Shakti, Mission Vatsalya, Saksham Anganwadis and Poshan 2.0 to be launched soon. Lastly, 2 lakh existing Anganwadis are to be upgraded to Saksham Anganwadis, a little more modernized version of our Anganwadis. Okay, As this was all about, what do we say, the key features, okay. In my next videos, I will be talking about the highlights of the budget, where we would be bringing in all these key features. It was just to give you an insight, okay, these are the main headings that the union budget of 2022 has touched. So before ending, there are three things that I just wanted you to understand and basically appreciate. That is from where the money comes in, okay, from where the income comes in for the government. So the very first thing is, and everybody is only interested in the budget for that as a commoner, is the income tax. So 15% of the government, what do we say, income comes from income tax. Then the union excise duties, the corporation tax, GSTs, customs. See, these are the percentage, okay, that helps the government to earn. And then borrowings and other liabilities. Now, where the money goes, where it is, what is the expenditure, where the actual spending happens? Well, it happens on central sector schemes, then financial commissions and other transfers. Again, the share of the state shares of taxes and duties, interest payments on all the liabilities and borrowings. In the defense sector, subsidies and all the schemes that we see, that Har Ghar Har Jal Yojana, PM Awas Yojana, Mission Shakti, all the schemes also take around 9% of the government's expenditure budget. And then comes the pension. Lastly, here we are going to talk about, I mean, just this is, if you look at it, it is sort of an, what do we say, a comparison with the previous year's budget. Okay, just to understand that how much they have previously spent and how much they're intending to spend this year. So let us start with the National Health Mission. Okay, in 21-22, they have proposed to spend around 34,947 crores. Now, which has increased to 37,800 crores. Then Jal Jeevan Mission, about which we just spoke, that is Har Ghar Jal Yojana, that is the running tap in every house. Okay, in 21-22 budget, 45,011 crore was estimated or allocated, and this year it has drastically increased to 60,000 crores. Next comes the very important idea, local ke liye local pe vocal, that is Atmanirbhar Bharat Rozgar Yojana. This is an employment scheme where last year around 5,000 crores was allocated. This year 6,400 is allocated for the Atmanirbhar Rozgar Yojana. Next comes the National Education Mission. Well, last year, in the last budget, it was allocated around 30,796 crores, and this year it has increased to 39,553 crores. Next comes the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. It is the infrastructure, the roadways, the roads. Last year, it was allocated around 14,000 crores. Whereas this year it has increased to 19,000 crores. And lastly, the PM Kisan Yojana. Okay, and last year, that is in 21-22, 67,500 crores were allocated in the budget, whereas this year it has increased to 68,000 crores. So, my dear viewers, here I would just like to put an end to this video. And we'll see you in the next video, where I would be trying to just shorten up, brief out the highlights of this union budget. Please understand, knowing economics is very important because it impacts every one of us. Even from an infant to a 100-year-old. Everyone who lives in this country, direct or indirectly, has contributed to the development. And it is very important to know how the union budget will in future impact us. Maybe today you are just learning, understanding, and tomorrow you are the one who will be the makers. So do have your interest, know what's happening around you. It's not only sports, it's not only movie and media. No, even understanding the economic health of your country is very important. So with that, let's meet in another video, and till then, stay safe, keep learning. Bye-bye.